All right, good day, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whichever time zone you are in. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Tisha Spencer. I am a travel agency business owner. Name of my company is the Original Platinum Travels Company. And today we're going to talk about your niche. Now, for some of you guys who have been following me on either social media or on YouTube, or we're just friends, you know that that's been a topic for me for a while, trying to get agents to understand the differences between your niche and having a specialty or just booking regular things. So I figured, you know what, guys, you've heard so much from me. Let me bring in somebody else who can share their journey, their story of how they discovered their niche, their specialty, and just some more information about what it's like to be a successful travel agent inside of this business. Now, the person I want to bring on to you is somebody that I have known now for, oh, wow, going on 10 years, I think, maybe a little bit longer. We met inside of another organization through some friends, and we have traveled together. We have gotten healthy together. We have laughed together. We've eaten together. So we've done a lot together. But I want to let you know that this person I'm bringing in right now is a top producer when it comes to travel. She is a beast when it comes to this. She's also a fellow trainer as myself. Ms. Chin, are you on the line? Just to make sure that you got everything great. There.
I'm here. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
I can see and hear you. And guys, I forgot to mention that she is the mother of a beautiful daughter who is a volleyball champion. Can I say champion?
Well, yeah, they won.
So she's very busy with everything that she's going on, but she's still finding time to be successful. So the first thing I want to do is, for all of the agents that are on here, some may know you, some may not know you, first time seeing you, what was your passion when it to getting into travel? Like, what about travel made you so passionate?
Well, first, I have to say thank you for having me. And for those of you who have had a chance to learn from this young lady, I know that you have just become an amazing travel specialist, or will be by the end of your time in this program. But I want you to understand that travel is my first love. I was not earning from travel. Travel is my personal therapy. So I traveled in the beginning mainly to get myself to have a hard reset. So I originally started traveling more when I realized that I felt better. My body felt better when I got back. My mind was easier when it came down to the fact that it really never stops running, even when I'm sleeping. I don't know if there's anyone else who's like that, but travel has put me in a place where I actually slow down. I actually don't go crazy. So it's my mental health, it's my physical health, it's my spiritual health, it's everything for me. And traveling put me in a position where I was able to see that there were other people who were just like me. So I became a specialist in wellness. I would travel for health and wellness anyway. When I realized that I could monetize on it, I said, oh yeah, this is going to be a game changer. And then I really fell in love with putting myself in a position where I just couldn't be reached. I wanted to be in a position where I could really unplug. And Ms. Spencer, you know what that's like, right? And I'm probably sure everyone else who hears this will understand what that feels like. And so I fell in love with it. And then when I realized that my passion can become an income, it was like, I really didn't want to go to bed. I was like, this industry is life-changing, and it deserves for me to not just take advantage of it, but to pay it forward to other people.
I really understand about the unplugging, because I'm really trying to figure out when can I unplug this weekend, and I haven't found the time yet. But I know at some point this Memorial Day weekend, I will lose my phone for about 2 hours. I don't know where I'm traveling to, but I will lose the phone in the process. So how long have you been in the industry as a business owner?
So I've been a business owner in travel now for 9 years. I'm actually coming up on my 10th year in travel, because I actually got started in travel while still in another business, just to kind of test it out. I wasn't really taking it as seriously my first year, but all in, it's 9 years.
And I can understand and respect the whole idea of not taking it seriously, because guys, I didn't either when I first got started. It was just something fun to do. But when those checks started coming in consistently, it changed the whole game for me. It changed the whole game. And so, as you know, some of the conversations, and the guys, the reason why I brought her in is because we had a conversation. She did a training, because I get training from her as well. And it was about your 30-second elevator pitch about your business. And I know for many of you guys in conversations, some of the things that we've discussed has been what to say to a client to get across what your agency does. And some of the conversations we had, Latoya Chin, has been, people have said, oh, well, my specialty is all inclusive. My specialty is an island. My specialty is mothers. My specialty is cruises. And I really wanted to talk more about how to narrow that down from just saying like, I specialize in cruises, but my niche is luxury level cruises. But first, we got to introduce ourselves to our potential clients. So how did you become so great at your pitch to clients with your business?
Well, what I did is I honed in on first what I personally enjoyed. See, one of the things that happens when you're going after finding your niche, when you're putting yourself in a position to want to become a true specialist, you're able to now share with people that you're a real expert. And so people want to work with people who they believe know exactly what they're doing. A lot of times what happens is people will say exactly what you just said. I specialize in all inclusives. And I'm like, that's not appealing to anyone. That's not going to lock anyone in. What does that mean? All inclusives for some people is just including breakfast. Some people don't even know what all inclusives is. Some people don't understand that when you're talking about being an expert, you're actually honing in and putting yourself in a position where you can sell a specific type of travel, tourism, weddings. You're putting yourself in a position to sell luxury, which means you cater to a specific client. Now, some people don't necessarily like to hone in on a niche, but they don't realize that if you don't really hone in on a strong income. Mm-hmm. So when you're going after talking to people, and I'm able to tell them that I'm a wellness specialist and I specialize in wellness retreats, I specialize in cruises because it's my personal passion. Whether people decide to cruise or not, guess who's cruising? This girl, right? Guess who's got to get on a cruise ship? Me. So why not become the very best at what you love? Now, a lot of people like culinary. So your niche has always been culinary. You love the aspect of being able to travel and try food. Now, I eat with you, of course, right? And I'm like, good, Tisha, you tell us where we're going and I'll meet you there. But do I specialize in it? No, it's not my niche. It's something I enjoy because of Tisha Spencer's niche, because she sells me on it. She's like, oh, we're going to do this, and we're going to cook here, and we're going to make this, and we're going to make that. And it's like, sign me up. But I don't necessarily know how to sell it. When you hone in on a niche, you're actually learning how to sell that specific type of travel. And there's different niches. And I know that we're probably going to go into detail about really explaining that. But that's how I'm able to talk to people in 30 seconds. When I hear certain things or people ask me what I do, I tell them I do what I enjoy. I help people really focus on their health inside and out. And I put them in a position to be able to travel to destinations that's going to make them well. I believe in living well and traveling often. So I actually specialize in wellness retreats.
What I love about that, it was so descriptive. It was visual. And that's what I'm trying to get across, is that when we are introducing our business and talking about what we love, we should be able to give people a visual. So like right now, one of the trips, and I'm sorry I didn't tell you about this sooner, but I am doing a culinary, a foodie Maldives trip to a hotel that won several gold medals in the 2019 Food Olympics in Germany.
Wow.
Yeah.
When are we going?
We are going in, believe we're going in 2023. I think we're going in the fall.
Oh, good. I didn't miss it. Okay. Sign me up. Done.
Yeah. See, one of the things, like there are several types of niches. And I don't know, one of the ones I hear a lot of people say is all inclusive, cruises, and a certain target market like moms or millennials or adults only. And what I want to get across is that you can have a niche and say luxury cruises, but you can target moms, parents. And I think that's the big difference we should really discuss, is the differences between having a niche and then having that target market within the niche. Because my niche is luxury, but I go after those who want to have those culinary experiences and explore the culture through their taste buds.
Right. And so, and it's good because here's the thing. Inside of your niche, you will book cruises, you will book all inclusives, you will book tours, right? Because some people actually specialize in tourism. But what type of tourism? Some people specialize in excursions, but guess what? They specialize in water excursions or land excursions. They specialize in something specific, so they actually are going after a specific type of client. And that's what you have to understand. When we start to really hone in on your niche, if I'm focusing on weddings, guess who my client is? Brides, right? The moms, the dads, they all fall into the same umbrella. But first, you got to understand that your goal is to be an expert in a specific area, not necessarily a category. Okay. And when we look at the different categories, sometimes people like to put it all in one. Well, if you specialize in all inclusives, but you don't let people know specifically that you specialize in the Caribbean, they might ask you for an all inclusive in Europe. And you're confused because you never actually honed in on being a specialist for Europe. Right? You never honed in on being a specialist for the Caribbean. So you never became a Jamaica specialist. You never registered with One Love. So you don't understand certain things. And then you miss out. And then someone sees Miss Dawn, right? And Miss Dawn tells them that she's a Jamaica specialist. She goes there every year. She just sent a group there. Guess what? You lost. I want Miss Dawn now because she's an actual specialist in a targeted place, an island that I personally look forward to going to. And guess what else? She's able to tell me that she's been and she's booked. Those are two things that after you've become an expert, you're going to want to do. Once you specialize in an area, you're going to want to actually travel to that place and you're going to book it. The good news is that you can book it for yourself, right? You can be your own best client in the process of becoming a specialist and having that niche, if that makes sense.
Yes. Does it make sense to everybody else? You're free to chat in the comment in the chat section if you have questions, agreement, thumbs up, stuff like that. So you talked a little bit earlier about your journey to getting to wellness travel. And this is something I want, and I know your answer, but I want everybody else to hear it. Was wellness your very first thing that you zoned into on, or take you a little bit to get there?
It took me a little bit to get there. But it really was the first thing that I loved and enjoyed, but it did take me a while to understand that because I love it and I own travel, I should really find a way to monetize on it. And it was like a missing link where I was actually specializing in it, but didn't know I was specializing in it because people were coming to me wanting wellness travel because I travel to get well. I actually have a lot of health issues that I have overcome, but before I would travel to really be able to relax and relieve all the back pain that I had, to actually recover from different procedures that I was having. So I was traveling for wellness and then realized, oh my God, this is what I do every day. Gosh darn it, I need to go ahead and get on and get with the university and actually join the Travel Wellness Society and become a true specialist in the area. So it wasn't something that I just jumped right into. And for everyone that's on, I want you to understand that you have to actually sit and think, what would you enjoy booking all day, every day? What would really be something that you look at and say, this doesn't feel like work? This makes me happy. See, booking wellness was therapy because it was reminding me of all the times that I actually traveled. It took me to that place. If you're a foodie and you specialize in culinary, guess what? It's going to make you get excited because you know what it's like to get those private sessions with different chefs on the ship. You know what it's like to get it when you go to the all-inclusives. If you've ever been to the Barcella, they actually have their own garden. And it's just all kinds of stuff that just make you just go, wow, all the time, that you want other people to experience it too. So when you're thinking about your niche, what do you personally enjoy when you travel? What do you personally enjoy booking right now? You know, sometimes you enjoy booking something that's maybe not what you personally like to do, but you actually have mastered booking it, right? So now you want to do it. Believe it or not, I actually specialize in weddings. And I am not married. I've never walked down the aisle, but it was one of those things where I realized that if I became a wedding specialist and I specialized in destination weddings, that I would be a person who would be a part of my client's life forever. And I am. I have pictures of my clients. They send me cards every year. They send me gift cards. That one bride led me to over 100 clients where I really didn't need any more clients after her because she just kept sending people to me. But every year she would say, my husband and I don't know where we would be without you. And that is a priceless feeling that no one could ever take away from me. So I was like, you know what, gosh darn it, that's gonna be my niche too, because it was something that stood out. So I actually have a niche in 3 areas. Okay, I specialize in cruises, wellness travel, and weddings. I
And
love
you know
it.
what's so great about that? You can have a wedding on a cruise with some wellness activities all wrapped up into it. A nice little bow.
And believe it or not, it's happened. So one of my close friends, what we did is they actually sailed for their wedding. They got married in the Bahamas when they docked. So I was a part of her wedding, her honeymoon, everything. And then they had a couples massage. I booked it all. It was all wrapped in a big bow on a ship, right? Some people want cars for Christmas. She was like, I want a ship, right? I want to get married during the holiday. And it was amazing. It was a very small wedding though. So when we start talking about making money, then, we'll talk about the group niche and how that works. But it does happen. You can get it all at once. So the good thing is that all 3 of my niches, I have had a chance to tie them all into one booking.
Now, I'm going to be real honest. For me, I was really struggling to tie the luxury aspect, I can't say it, the luxury part with the whole culture and the cuisine part, because I was like, well, luxury could be anything, culture cuisine could be almost anything. And then one day I was talking with a supplier and I was trying to explain to him, and I said, what I'm doing is I'm taking your taste buds on a cultural tour with the luxury accommodations. He goes, write that down. I said, yes, sir. I'm gonna write that down because that was actually really good. And I want everybody to understand, just like you explained, you can have several different niches that complement each other, that work together with each other. Because I also do cruises, though lately I have been doing a lot more land, which is an escorted travel. I've actually got into more escorted travel, but they all kind of complement each other where I can do a luxury cruise and a chef's dinner. I can do a Vegas trip. I'm about to get to, and I might be calling you. I have to do a Vegas wedding renewal that has to be adventurous. And I'm just like, I know where to send you to eat though, but I'm not sure about the adventure part. We're talking like ziplining type wedding things. And I'm like, okay, so I'm learning how to tie in what I love and how I like to travel. I kind of zoned in on luxury, just how Latoya said, I love luxury. I love bougie. I love taking it to the next level. And one of the things that I'm doing with my current clients who I'm introducing to luxury is I'm just giving them a little bit of taste of luxury, upgraded rooms, upgraded shuttle services, upgraded seats, a little bit of taste. And they're hungry for bouginess and luxury now, So one of the questions I have is, you mentioned that you joined, I think it was a travel wellness company group. What kind of training did you do to enhance your knowledge of your niche besides going to the resorts?
Yes, great question. So one of the things that you always say, that all the agents always say, is that Google is your best friend, right? So what I did is I actually researched outside of the travel trainings that was provided by us by the companies. I actually wanted to look into wellness travel, and Wellness Travel University exists. There's a Wellness Travel Society, and there's even an association that you can join. Now, some of these are additional fees, and I don't always recommend it to agents who are first starting out. I'm a more seasoned agent, and so I don't mind paying for the additional knowledge. I don't mind paying for the newsletters, the magazines. I wanted to know what was happening at all times, now more than ever before, because over the past 2 years, I've had my own wellness transformation. So I had to look into more wellness travel for the solo traveler, wellness travel for groups, and there were different trainings that I could take that would hone in on not just wellness travel, but something that you mentioned earlier was the type of traveler. So the age group, the categories, those kinds of things. First, you actually specialize in a niche, and then you go after the client who fits that niche. Well, what I learned with Travel Wellness University is that wellness travel is actually 60% solo travelers.
Hmm.
There are people who are like, I want to be well. I don't care if the people around me want to be well. I don't want them to ask me to go on an excursion. I want yoga. I want to be able to meditate in the morning on the beach. And they were after different things, and they recognized that their best wellness experience was to actually completely remove themselves from everyone but instructors who would actually allow for them to hone in on wellness. If I didn't take these extra trainings, I wouldn't know who the target person is, because I'm like, I'm the target person and I'm not the oldest person in the world. So I was like, I want to find more people who are like me. But most people, as they get older, they experience health challenges. I started to experience them very young. And so I fit a different bracket, but it really boiled down to who I would actually be looking for. And so there's tons of training. And Tisha Spencer, you find them, and I'm like, where'd you get it from? Because it wasn't in the back office. I didn't see that, right? But you got to Google it. And then you have to be willing to say, how serious am I about my niche? Because what I did is I understood that it was for the solo travelers, but what I did is I said, I'm going to put together a group trip filled with solo travelers. So none of them know each other. And then I ended up putting together a women's wellness retreat, where they actually are moms, wives, they are caregivers who all need a break, who all need a reset. And so then I realized that I don't need to be saying I'm looking for a mom, or I'm looking for someone in their 50s, or I'm looking for someone who's retired. I'm looking for someone who wants to really experience what it's like to have holistic wellness. And that was it for me. So
See, what you just explained is the same thing I've said to them. It's about the atmosphere. It's about that experience. It's about that feeling. It doesn't matter if they're 25, 52, or 62. It's the experience that you're providing them within your niche. So I can do a luxury trip to Vegas with the culinary aspect to it that's going to look totally different than the person that's just going down there to party.
Right. And this is how I like to describe it. And I always tell people, based on what you do, you always let them know that you're a specialist who provides white glove service in culinary. You're a person who provides white glove service in transportation, right? Only the best luxury cars will pick you up. Only suited and booted drivers. You can specialize in anything, but you let them know the type of service that they're going to get. You let them know the type of experience they're going to get, because it's really about the experience. And that's why you find a niche. Your niche allows for you to provide your clients with a specific experience. So if I'm providing you with a specific experience, I can't tell you that I just specialize in just cruises, or just all inclusives, or just European hotels, right? That's not enough. I can't tell you that I specialize in just flights. Like, what kind of flight are you going to put me on? Frontier or Delta, right? There's just things that you have to understand when it comes down to having a niche. It's so important. It's probably the one thing that I probably drill in people's head. Like, if someone would have said to me that they specialize in all inclusive, I probably would have looked at them really, really crazy. And my daughter would say, Mom, fix your face right now. You can't do that, right? Because I'm like, what? What does that mean? Like, who are you talking to? There are people who probably travel to more places than we have as agents, right? So you really have to be on your game, because it's not about where you personally have traveled to. It's what you have actually learned and experienced, sometimes virtually. It's really about what you have mastered. This business of niche is about mastery. It's about really becoming an expert in a specific area where you can provide the best experience for that specific client.
And I agree. Before I settled on luxury, I did take several trainings. Some of them were paid training, some of them was just, reading different articles and stuff. And part of the thing I try to explain to the agents when it comes to selecting their niche or niche, however you want to say it, it can take time. If you're a new agent and still trying to figure things out, you may not have a niche coming straight in, but you know that you love Mexico. So your niche might become, all inclusives in Mexico, or luxury only in Mexico. You just don't want to target it down to saying the types of people, like, I'm only going to go after senior citizens. Why? Senior citizens love everything. If everybody knows my mom, she is a luxury cruise person, then she's a land for Jamaica with the biggest spa possible.
She's got 3 niches in already, and she's not an agent. But it's good. It's good to just say that. And what you can do, instead of categorizing it by a specific person, you would really want to look at the type of profession too. So one of the things that happened as I studied niches is you might become a person who actually focuses on travel photography, right? Or solo travelers who are on a personal self-care journey, right? Because wellness and self-care are like brothers and sisters, and they really do go together. But you recognize that inside of a niche is another niche. Some people, like for you, Tisha, I specialize in weddings, you specialize in culinary, and then we ended up having a client who wanted a agent who basically specializes in adventure travel for weddings. So adventure travel is a niche. There are people who specialize in just adventures. So they're like, no, there's no lovemaking on my trips. There's no, oh, I'm going to tell you the best spas. That's not what they specialize in. But, oh, where should you go hiking? Where should you jump off the cliff? What island should you go for bungee jumping or jumping out of planes over the West Nile or whatever it is? There are people who specialize in that. So understand that there are actually hundreds of niches. Yeah. Okay. It's just that we tend to give you guys the broader perspective, but when you look at what you love, you'll realize that inside of what you love, there's 3 to 4 others that are wrapped in it. Because inside of culinary, for you, Tisha, you really are giving a 5-star culinary experience. So it's always a luxury experience. You just never said it in the beginning. Then you realize like, oh, I'm looking for a specific type of client. So I'm going to cater to a different group of people where I'm not just going to say, I love to specialize in food, because you might ask me to take you to Miami and Little Haiti and take you to where you can get the best Haitian food, right? If you specialize in culinary, they don't care if it's top dollar or if it's a $5 plate. But when you tell them that it's luxury, they're looking for a specific experience. So it's important that once you find your niche, that you even zoom in and actually go even into more detail on that specific niche.
Now, question, and this is a good question because I actually had this question come up with one of our newer partners. They want to specialize in sports, and that's what their niche wants to be. How does somebody who wants to be niche in sports, such a big, how do you come niche that out?
Yeah, so one of the things that happens for people when you look at sports and entertainment, because they're both very broad, you are still inside of sports, you're going to be specific, where you're going to say, I specialize in sports, but mainly football or mainly basketball. You're still going to have one that you actually zoom in on, where you're giving the experience from top to bottom of what they get, whether they want to be courtside for basketball or they're looking to be on the 50-yard line. Big difference. You got to know these things when you start specializing in sports. The same thing with entertainment. Are we talking entertainment Broadway plays? Are we talking about going to see Kendrick Lamar here? Like, what are we talking about? You've got to know that you're after a different group of people. Are you specializing in entertainment in terms of opera? Are you doing more plays? Like, you can actually take sports, entertainment, all of it, and you can dive in and be very specific. Now, some people actually specialize in international sports. So they're talking about booking World Cup. They're talking about booking different things that they actually are saying, not only do I specialize in sports, but I specialize in the biggest and best type of sports. I specialize in Super Bowl, because I had a girl who booked, I think this is when the Eagles went to Super Bowl. She made, she's actually in the DMV area. She made $2,900 just with golden tickets. But she told them, I specialize in the Super Bowl. Don't call me and ask me about basketball. Don't ask me about anything else. Soccer, hockey, nothing. Now, could they go to your site and book those other things? Yes, because as a sports fanatic who actually wants to be an expert, you're going to be registered with all the top vendors. You're going to have all your affiliate links. You're going to have all that ready to go for them. But they're going to know you for one thing in particular, because those are the type of travel parties that you throw, right? Those are the type of posts that you put up. Those are the type of trips that you put together. So it'll all come together where they say, oh, she's really only posting about football. Well, yeah, that's her niche. That's what she focuses on, right? And the guys do the same thing.
Awesome. That was some great information. And, I know you have to get ready to go. And one of the things I want to say, if you're dealing with sports and entertainment that people forget about, lodging, flights, and things around the game, because they got to get to the game. Then they got to eat while they're at the game. And then, of course, they're going to want to do more than just that. So you want to make sure that you're putting together a great package. Do you have any closing words? Because I know our time with you is running out.
Somebody just asked a question down there.
Travel with food is what I lean towards. I'm currently all inclusive, but when travel, I'm all for the ATVs, skydiving, swimming with the dolphins, and I'm a big on food places. I always try to go to the hottest spot when traveling. Haven't had experience with a chef one-on-one yet. Oh, that's an amazing experience. Yes. They actually took us in a cruise ship and showed us the kitchen.
I'm currently all inclusive. What does that mean? Are you on an all inclusive trip? But it looks like you specialize in tours and excursions. That tours and food are under the same umbrella. So you can actually make your niche under tourism. You can just zoom in on really understanding that you really, based on what you like to book, it's definitely more adventure tourism.
Yeah,
it's like. From what I see. But no, I would just really tell everyone to do two things tonight. Really look at the type of travel that you personally enjoy and try to become a specialist in that area and then see if that's your niche. But become a specialist first, experience booking it first, and ask yourself, is this something I would look forward to doing every single day? Like I told someone before, I would never look forward to waking up and booking Disney. It's not my thing. I don't want to be a Disney specialist. My daughter is 15 and I am not interested, right? So you've got to know what you just don't want to do. And this is a business that you should enjoy. You should love it. And the reason why people love this business is because they found their niche. They can talk about it freely in 30 seconds when they're in the elevator, and they don't ever look at it as work. And if you specialize and you find a niche, booking travel won't be so hard.
There you go.
Okay.
All right. So guys, I want to thank you for spending this time with us. We have to let Miss Chen go. She has to run off to go book probably another cruise, wedding, vow renewal, her own wellness retreat. Who knows? But
yes. I am moving over to my wellness side. So thank you so much for having me. I hope that this was helpful to all of you. And I can't wait to hear what everyone's niche is. So if you haven't found one, if you're thinking about one, drop it in the comment section. Tell us what your niche is now that you understand the difference. What's going to be your niche? What are you going to focus on? What training is going to help you be a true expert in that area? And whatever you put down there, now Ms. Teacher Spencer can actually further guide you in more detail on how to be the very best of the best, how you can provide white glove service to your clients. And no matter what area that you decide to specialize in, I know without a shadow of a doubt, you're going to be absolutely amazing. Just hone in on one niche at a time. Okay. Have a great night.
All right. Thank you. Have a good evening. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending time with us. As always, if you're watching this on a replay or on the YouTube, like, follow, and subscribe. And if you have any questions that weren't answered, if you're watching the replay, just put it in the comments and I'll get to them as soon as I can. I'm Tisha Spencer with Original Platinum Travels. Have a good evening.